Right, hello. Boy, I thought I'd do another video on um, the 1st of September. Again, just looking at a scene here in Back to the Future Part 1, and this is right at the start. As you can see, it's the first 10 minutes we're in right here, so we're at 8 minutes something. And we're looking at the Texaco gas station. This is when the 4x4 truck pulls up. And again, I don't know how to explain this without spending ages trying to explain it, but in Back to the Future 3, when Marty avoids the Rolls Royce, okay, and having that accident where he hurts his hand, okay, again, he's in this truck, and this truck, that scene references back with Madonna, because it's the Rolls Royce that he has to that he's trying to avoid, yeah, when he puts it in reverse so he doesn't crash into the Rolls Royce. But what happens, the reason why that's a Madonna reference with the Rolls Royce is because of Who's That Girl, and in the film Who's That Girl, Madonna is, I would say joyriding, but she's kind of joyriding in the Rolls Royce, and she goes in front of the same coloured locomotive train that is the train that destroys the DeLorean. Okay, so there's this scene in Who's That Girl that references back to the Future, and here is our 4x4. So this truck references back in with Madonna. Not to mention it's 4 4s 16 golden ratio time. Okay. 1.618, so so 44 4/4s, super interesting. Anyway, I'll tell you the other thing that references back with Madonna here is the 131. Okay, as we have the train, we've got the black Toyota here, but we have the black train with the 131 on in part 3. And again, the 131 is from Madonna's birthday to Christmas is 131 days. Why is this important? Because we're dealing with Madonna and Christ, Mary and Christ. And so earlier on in this scene, I guess we could just go to earlier on in this scene now. You get the idea here. Gas war, okay. I think this might be a 13.9 here. Reference 13'9". 139 is pretty interesting. Without spending ages explaining it, it's a balanced number to do with the number 7. That's the easiest way to just. I'm not even getting to it right now. Anyway, we've got the 911 here, and here is our 109 or 10-9, which is again interesting with Madonna because Guy Ritchie, his birthday is the 10th of September. What else do we have? Ooh. I think we can get off of this now. The fact that it says war here is pretty interesting. Oh, and the other thing is, if we, well, maybe I'll go to the chart. I'll go to the Queen's Cross chart in just a second, because 44 is in the center of that chart, okay? And what is interesting about 44 and this 109 and Madonna is this, well, we'll get into it in just a second, but 44 connects to 49 and 48 in that chart. And right here we have, again, the white star in front of the red star, okay? So you could look at that as an eclipse reference as well. We've looked at other references to do with this, the name Marty, and this being Mary, and then the T being the T of Marty. Mary with a T in it is Marty, okay? The Christ inside the womb of or in the cup of Christ, inside the womb, okay, in the holy chalice. Anyway, again, this is eclipse referencing as well, because we've got the moon essentially in front of the sun there. Okay, so again, let's go to this chart so I can show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. The center of this thing is 44. Okay, with all the stuff with the connections to gold. This is golden. This has got all the numbers for GoldenEye in here. This is Pierce Brosnan, who does the dam jump in GoldenEye. There's his birthday. The train number that gets destroyed by the tank number is right in here. Okay, 745 and the 343 of the tank. And the little tunnel bridge thing where the tank shoots the train from is right here, 247. Okay, so all referencing potentially pi, because this is the start of this sequence. In fact, this is actually the beginning and end of this cycle here. Okay, so 314, this is the start of that cycle. Okay, and it's interesting that we had the ear wound, read that backwards, with Donald Trump. Just fascinating stuff. And again, remember that ear or the oracle is to do with gold, auric. Okay, so a gold reference again with the ear. And what's fascinating right now is, we'll get onto it, is that Donald Trump is 79 years old, which is gold. And then if we go to our, so let's jump through some of this stuff. Okay, so if we go to our 9/1 date that's there with the war, okay, in the Texaco garage there, service station, he will be 79 years and 79 days old on that particular day. Double gold. Fairly interesting, isn't it? 79, 79. Yeah, the atomic number of gold, 79. Double gold. Okay. Why? Let me just explain something. What is interesting about this scene also is that we were just literally, the last few videos we've just been talking about, just backing this up, we've been talking about this van, okay, and actually I've got it stopped at a really good spot here, so we'll just talk about this for 1 second. You'll notice that there's an 820 on this van, okay, and we also got the 2H there, so another 28 there as well. But excuse me, 820. This is a date that I've been looking at for Madonna recently, okay, because there's something special about this date and Madonna and pi again. We'll get onto that in just a second. But we were talking about this van, and the music that it was playing was the Washington post-march tune, okay, and this is the same tune they played on Donald Trump's birthday at the Army Parade. Now, we did the decode here. Oh, I'm going back the wrong way here. Actually, that was just the spot I wanted right there. So that music they were playing, they played that right at the start of that parade. We also had the tanks, the 2 tanks there, tank again, matching up with Madonna. Come on, get to the point, Dan. Come on, mate. And then we need to get to this. There's a reference to the end of the world. Jennifer says it's not the end of the world at this point. Okay, so there's this nice little interesting bit about the end of the world. And then we're looking at this for Mary here. So Mary obviously is an anagram of army or vice versa. Okay, and the 4 right here, if you do US in the Gematrinator, it'll come up as 40 and the reduction is 4. So the number 4 comes up. for Mary, U.S. Army. Okay, and so we had this reference to, again, so back to Donald Trump, back to gold, of course, because Donald Trump is gold at the minute, and the connection with the two mayors, which were that's interesting. Well, Mayor and Mary as well. The two mayors were Red Thomas and Goldie Wilson. Yeah, so the red and gold. And what, again, I just watched a video by Decoding with Cody. It's a really good decode, and he's connecting. We were talking about this guitar a little while back. We Seek had done a video on it, and let's get back to it. This guitar here, and he makes the connection of the guitar, yeah, with it has the golden bridge on it. This particular guitar, okay. So the lost guitar that we were looking at before. Again, the guitar itself is a reference to, this is what Cody was saying, is a reference to the Golden Gate Bridge, because it has the golden bridge on the guitar here. And when he was doing this, I'm just like, before he even said anything about this gold, I'm like, oh yes, look, the Golden Gate Bridge with the strings, yeah, because it's a suspension bridge, and the red. Before I even got onto the gold bridge, I'm like, wow, okay, so it was a really good decode, a really great connection there to the Golden Gate Bridge, and he had some gematria that matched up as well with the particular guitar, and the phone number, the tip line with the 345 there matching up as well. Anyway, so go watch that video. It's a really good video. Anyway, so I thought, I tell you what's interesting about this as well, I will reference this scene one more time. I'll just talk about it's the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, yeah? I believe this is a reference to being, kind of in the Titanic under the sea, sunk, just as the Hoover Dam is basically the ship shape with the hull of the ship and the 4 inlet towers being the chimneys, funnels or whatever you call them on a boat on the ship there. A reference to those columns is a reference to that, and that is the same with the clock tower, yeah. And the 1004, and of course the 1004 ties in with Titanic's maiden voyage, and again it all ties together. And obviously we were just looking at Titanic and doing some decoding with the, when the Titanic was what's the word I'm looking for? When she was, what the hell's birthed, I guess is what you call it. I don't know what you call it when she launched is the word really I should be using, isn't it? When she was first launched, 531, May the 31st, which tied in with Clint Eastwood, and we had the connection with Clint Eastwood and Madonna's son, and obviously the date, the Golden Gate Bridge becoming 88 years old right at about the same time, with just a couple of days off, and also what's her face as well, Leah Thompson, sorry, becoming her birthday is also on 531 as well. Oh dear. So anyway, so it's just absolutely, at the minute, everything is really loaded on the Back to the Future stuff. Anyway, so he's talking about this, the Enchantment and the Sea Dance. Don't forget that the hand, Marty's hand disappears first. We see that hole in his hand, and also Marvin also has the hand problem as well, both to do with this guitar, yeah, and obviously the hand job, the connection with well, a connection with the hand, and that the damage to the hand is the reference to St. Giles, who gets shot in the hand with an arrow. Okay. So, and that's, by the way, yeah, that's St. Giles's Day, which is the 1st of September, which is, the twin date for the 1st of September is May Day. Yeah, the distress call. Not that they used May Day, but the distress call again. And, you can connect that now back to blimmin' hell, things like A View to a Kill, where the blimp hits the, we have Mayday in that film, okay, and actually Grace Jones, who's Mayday, she's also a 195. She's a May 19th birthday as well, I think, and that then connects in with the Golden Gate Bridge because the blimp hits into the Golden Gate Bridge. We've got blooming Christopher Walken in there. What else was going to say? There's several other references in that film, but we also have the lake that empties. What else do we have in that film? There's something else I wanted to. Anyway, yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge is in it. Anyway, we've talked about this connection. He makes Cody makes the connection in here as well with the 49ers. This is something we've been talking about as well. Is this these references to the red and gold and the 49ers? Yeah, San Francisco, the 49ers, the 49, the 49, the 49 is in the dollar bill. So is the 9-1. I keep meaning to show you that fold, and if I do it, I'll put both of them in together, but blimmin' hell, it's getting late now already. I'm probably not going to do that tonight. Maybe tomorrow night if I'm not too tired. Anyway, let's get off of this a second. Let's go back to this scene here. So this is the first Texaco garage scene, and we were talking. We had the price war. We had the war reference here. We had the 195 with the 19.5 cents a gallon, and we also had the 19 reference, seeing as they used a half fraction there instead of the 0.5. So we also had a 19 reference there. Kind of interesting. And we did a whole bunch of stuff on this, but if you recall right at the start of this sort of sequence, when he shows up again with the Miller High Life in the background here, yeah, okay, with the red and gold again, okay. The same scene in part 2, okay. Notice that they kind of have this gold reference in with the Texaco scene in this in part 2, okay. It's kind of interesting with gold here with the star, okay. Ties all these scenes back together. Anyway, so we got the 820 on the white van here. I want to show you there's some gematria now we can look at with this. Before Mary, with the 25 reference coming up as well. Was there anything else in here I wanted to show you? No, it was just that. It was basically just a blooming, this reference to this and Madonna again. But it's the van that we really want to look at right now. It's the 820, because there's a couple of interesting things with 820 that actually tie into Madonna again with the golden ratio. And let's do some number jumps real quick. Before we get off the guitar thing, remember when we were looking at that, the clip of when all the actors were talking about the lost guitar. There was a hidden, so instead of a double bass in the background with the guitar, they had the cello, okay, and again that was the actor that was playing Marvin, okay, and so he's the one, and they had the life ring on the wall there as well in that scene. So he was the one that was, got the screwdriver in the sliced his hand. So all these references are, kind of tying back in on themselves. But anyway, they had the cello in the background instead of a double bass. So they had that white cello sitting there. And if you do the Gematria for cello, it matches up with trump. Okay, pretty good. 88, 47, and a 25 in there as well. So I just want to remind people of that, okay, because Mr. Gold, yeah, 79, 79, okay. So back to the 195, I just wanted to show you this as well and remind people about this. 4th of July, 1776, the founding of the country, so to speak. Again, through to 9-1, 91,005 days, 915, okay. Just make people aware of that. What else have we got here? I thought I'd better put in, this is Elon Musk's birthday. Yeah, Elon Musk, Donald Trump's buddy there. I think they're back together again, aren't they? Maybe. Well, they're talking to each other again now, or whatever, with that nonsense. Anyway, his birthday through to the 2nd, yeah, is 19791. So we've got this connection back again to gold, with a palindromic number here, which is absolutely fascinating, because we've got a ton of palindromic numbers dropping right on 91, 92, 9. I think I had one for 93 as well. In fact, I think this one works for 93. So 93, 94, and then of course 95 takes us maybe into a new beginning again. Okay, got to remember, what's interesting about this whole number sequence here is that, let's just get off of this so we can see the middle of this a little bit easier, is you've got to remember is that, this is the center, okay, 4x4, the 9-4 here, again, the 9-4 is going to be balancing out with 9-5, so 9-4 into 9-5, these are opposite in the cycle here, okay. Let me go back to this. So that was Elon Musk, yeah. And then we've got, this is what's really fascinating, right? This is very fascinating. This is the start of World War II right here, through to 9/1/2025, including the end date. Now check this out. This is absolutely mental with this connection with Pi and Madonna right here, because look, 31413. So we've got this nice, really nice palindromic number again, a balanced number, yeah. And then we look over at the variations on the duration. 86 years, 1 day. Oh my, 86 years, 1 day. Yeah. Madonna's numbers, 8/16. Read it backwards, 16th of August. Which again is golden ratio numbers, which is phi numbers. Okay, numbers of phi, the golden ratio, tying in, with Madonna, of course, and tying in with pi here, and kind of ominous with the 9-1s. Yeah, we got the 9-1 at the gas station, the gas war. Here we go. Could we have number 2 or number 3 starting on the same number as number 2. You know, a 2-3 matchup. I don't know. Let me show you something as well. White van. So that white van with the Mayor Goldie Wilson on the side, re-elect. Check out World War. It's a pretty good match. A 114, 114, 102, 102, a 42 and a 42 in there. So it matches up pretty good. Madonna also has a 114 match. Not so good, just only one number there, but interesting with the 114 because of course at the start of Back to the Future we have the CMR 114 referenced with the amplifier speaker thing that blows up. Okay, and I wanted this in here, this Madonna, just plain Jane Madonna. So you can see the 6226, which is tank and train numerology numbers, gematria numbers, sorry, and then the 127 in here. So 127, the train again, yeah, 127 in reverse here, the train that goes over in Montparnasse. Yeah, this is Madonna's. This happens on 10/22. Okay, and then Madonna also releases her her music video, her song "Die Another Day" on 10/22, in connection with the Bond film again. Not GoldenEye this time, but this time it's Die Another Day, same name, and at the start of that film we have the hovercraft chase. Okay, so again with the hover and the Hoover connection, same with Back to the Future with the hoverboard scene and the Hoover Dam. Anyway, yeah, that is the 131 train going off the cliff, so to speak, and this is the 127 train going over the edge as well, going over the edge. Interestingly enough, from Christmas through to 8/20, yeah, so this is the date we're looking at for Madonna, which is on that white van, 127 days. So that's pretty interesting with her gematria and that picture there and this picture here and the numbers that are in the on the gas station there. What else we got here, Dan? Okay, yeah, let me just remind people of the this is the Frozen episode where Titanic sinks. Yeah, goes to the down into the abyss there. 41314. Okay, why was this interesting? Because this came out palindropic right around, I mean, I know it's not, I guess you can click it on one extra day. It was right around again Clint Eastwood and the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, we were just a day or two different there on some of those numbers there, so it was just fascinating that we were getting close, getting very close with some of these numbers. And what is more fascinating as well, we take these numbers now and we come to the first and the second. Yeah, so do you see that? Those are, if you did that in reverse, you'd have been on the 27th, I believe, of May as well, which was I want to say 27th. I think that was even closer to the Golden Gate Bridge. I can't remember off the top of my head what that date was for the pedestrian traffic when it first opened for pedestrian traffic, but it was right around then anyway. If we go we're going to go the one more day. In fact, I had it pegged on this day, on the 9/2, the 41414 with the clock tower numbers was pretty interesting. Yeah, with the 1004. So that again, that, you know, what's interesting about this is just these balance numbers coming out right in this sort of, you know, time period from 9/1 through to the 4th and then into the 5th. And I guess the other thing that was interesting was the idea of that connection back with Diana. Yeah, because we had the plane crash, the India plane crash with the 171, and obviously Princess Diana in India, yeah, in Diana. Her birthday obviously 17, and what was also interesting is obviously when she dies, the following day is the 1st of September, so she dies the 31st of August. Following day is the 1st of September, St. Giles's Day. So we're back to that 9/1 reference again with Princess Diana. And again, that plane crash, of course, if you did the 171 of the number of the plane, again, a 171 day jump from Christmas would have brought you out on Donald Trump's birthday. So it's just fascinating. And again, of course, the plane crash happened a couple of days before his birthday. What else we got here? What was this one? Oh, this is, again, with that reference to the Titanic, the reference to the Hoover Dam, and of course the reference to Notre Dame, the 415, date of the fire there, 2019. Again, we're palindropic 2332 to the first here. Just crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I got the 6 years, 140 days, 614 again with Donald Trump. Just mental. Yeah. The mother and the son again. Yeah, the Madonna and the Christ. I'll just also just mention this. I can't remember who said in the comments on that one of those videos. I apologize because I'm just I can't remember. But I was saying that what's his name? I don't know. The guy who plays Biff, Thomas Wilson, is it? His birthday, the 15th of April as well. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, somebody mentioned in the comments, hey, he also does a voice in one of the SpongeBob characters. And we were doing this, you know, we did that connection with SpongeBob, with the connection with the pineapples and the Titanic, and then of course SpongeBob had the May 1st dates, and that tied back in with, again, back to May Day. Oh, and it just goes on and on and on. Was there anything else I wanted to show you in here? Yeah, because we got to, where did we get to with the numbers here? We need to get to, so we did this one. Now, I don't know if I showed you this next one, but so we've got to remember this is a balanced palindropic pi number right here, and don't forget 19 is actually on the dollar bill, and actually it's in two places, kind of. It's really because if you take a P and an I, yeah, you can get this, you know, you can get the symbolism for 19, yeah, with a pi, with a mirrored pi will give you 19. Okay, so 19 with the letters transferring over to that. Yeah. I must just two other things to mention. All the talk about AI right now. AI 19 as well. So AI, all these big references to AI. Again, maybe a reference to the actual potential date as well of 9/1. And what else was I going to say there? I felt like I was going to say something else. No, I don't know. Anyway, it's gone out of my head now. Anyway, let's go on to this next number now with Madonna, the 820. Okay. So if we look at 9/1, the start of World War II, through to 820, what we're going to see is it's a pretty interesting number. It's just pi. So this should be a fascinating date. Whether or not Madonna will die on that day, I don't know really, but I'm just picking out numbers here that are showing up. You know, maybe that 820 is referencing pi, which is then we know that we've got the palindromic pi falling on 9/1. You know, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I will say one other thing, and that was that from Madonna's birthday through to 820 was kind of interesting with this 224, because again, 224, if you look at the day of the year, come on, where are you? 224, yeah, for 9/1, 244th day of the year, and then there's our 121 gigawatts. Okay, yeah, our 121 there. 4 days left in the year. Okay. So yeah, fascinating with the 224. And what's also interesting about 224 is, well, let me show you this as well. 224 shows up in Lucas numbers. This is Lucas numbers right here. So 224 excuse me, shows up in Lucas numbers. What did I want to say about that? Oh, and it shows up again in Lucas numbers because the 21st, so this is kind of interesting with Lucas numbers, the 21st Lucas numbers start with a 2-1, is 224, and I can't remember, hang on a minute, what was it? I had it up here somewhere. I didn't get rid of it. The 21st Lucas number is 24. Am I saying 224? 244. Right? 244. Am I getting that right? Hang on a minute. 244. Yeah. I think I was saying two. Excuse me. It's just really late. I've had a really long day. And yeah. Anyway, the 21st Lucas number. 21. Pretty interesting. Blackjack. Anyway. Is 24476. 24476. So again, where's a bloody birthday card? Hang on a minute. Do I not have it up in here? I thought I did. Hang on a minute. Thought we were just on it. Here we are. Yeah, we were. Bloody hell down. Come on. 24476. So that is the 21st Lucas number. So it's a special number that, you know, it's almost, and again, if you do, the way I reference those numbers is in the chart of the rain, is we would come across like a times table chart, and so Lucas numbers is the second row, and then the 21st number, so it's a 221 reference, again with the 1022. She's got a lot of 122 references, Madonna does. Anyway, there it is. Okay, so it's probably going to be my Oh, there's a few dates coming up now shortly that are pretty interesting for Madonna as well, but I can't be bothered. I think I've covered most of them before anyway. Was there something else I wanted to show you here? No. Oh, let me just show you. Hang on a minute. Let's go to a different chart for a second. Before we go to a different chart, let me show you as well, because 820 is in the golden ratio. So down the bottom here, we've got a Fibonacci cycle. Then we've got the first 24 digits of actual pi, the first 24 digits of phi, which is the golden ratio numbers, and then this is again is phi, but it's been synchronized with this Fibonacci sequence right here. Okay, so this Fibonacci sequence right here is synchronized with pi through these numbers here, 358, right? And then we've also got an 88 in Fibonacci, which we can line up with the 88 in the golden ratio here. Okay, so we've got these four bottom rows underneath this black line here are all synchronized together. Okay, what you'll find, what's interesting is here is our 820 that is in the golden ratio. If we go straight up, look what it's synchronizing with: the 33, death, resurrection, Mary and Christ. Yeah, the moon and the sun come back into this is one of their cycles. It's a 33-year cycle when they line back up again. Again, we got Madonna's. Yeah, here's Madonna's birthday numbers right here. Yeah, let's read it backwards. 816 backwards there. Okay, so it's a fascinating little lineup here. And then of course, if we jump straight up, holy cow, look at the numbers that are in question here for our timeline. Yeah, the 1st of September. Yeah, in a palindropic format again. And what's interesting about this palindropic format as well, let me just explain something, because out of all these cycles, I'm not really sure, because I haven't really spent a whole bunch of time looking at them. But this isn't technically a cycle right here. It's just the first 24 digits of the actual numbers of pi. Why do we pick the first 24 digits? Because all these other cycles are 24 digits long. Okay. But when we look at there is a palindropic number sitting within these first 24 digits of pi. Okay, it's sitting right here, which is, it's just interesting when we're looking at this stuff, to note that there is a number in there, and again with the 62, 26 and the 46 and the connections with Tank and Donald Trump and Train and all those connections there. Anyway, look at the other note. We've got the 5-9 in here and the 9-2. So it's kind of interesting, isn't it? I guess this is palindropic here as well, right at the start. The 141. Oh gosh. Here we go again with the clock tower number. Okay. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. We got the 820 in there. Okay. And again, the 82. It's matching up right here with the 88, and also this center number here, 8448 right here in the pi cycle. Okay, and again the 82 is matching up with that. And again, I'll just mention this. I don't have the stuff up. I'll probably do a decode. I'll probably show you a little short decode about it. But that tank in GoldenEye, yeah, it crashes through the Perrier water truck, and I believe Perrier water equals, was fairly close to, in the gematria, what were they calling them? A bunker buster. So there was some talk about, Donald Trump, and I haven't even seen the article, but there was just, everybody's been going on about the bunker buster bomb. Okay, the 222. But anyway, that gematria there matches up with the Perrier water, and in the Blast from the Past store, the Perrier water has the 1082 on it, 1982. Okay, so the way they wrote, when I say it's a 1082, they wrote the 9 like this, right? And then the 82 like that. So you can get 1082, which is the 28th of October, which was Matthew Perry's death, Perrier water, yeah. And then obviously Matthew Perry's birthday is a couple of days after Madonna's, and in this table actually they kind of oppose each other. The 16th of August here, and then the 19th of August here. So this would be interesting as well. The 19th going into the 20th here. Just again, fascinating stuff. And of course, Matthew Perry has the film with Salma Hayek, whatever her name is. I think she's an 82 birthday as well. Interesting, with our 92 birthday. Okay, and September the 2nd. Let's just put it that way. And in that film, well, they're at the Hoover Dam, a whole bunch, and there's a birth at the Hoover Dam. It's absolutely loaded. Matthew Perry, the Friends connection, yeah. And again, no doubt we've got 145 numerology here. And this is a number for Who's That Girl right there as well. I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm pretty much waffling in this video. I really wanted to show you go back to that scene. What's so interesting about this scene is the fact that it's just moments on after we were just looking at the army connection. So this is just absolutely fascinating. Yeah, 4x4, the square that equals 16, and 16, the golden ratio, 1.618, yada yada yada. Yeah, Madonna's birthday, which is again Madonna's through to 820 is pi, right? And then 9-1 through to 9-1 is pi. I think there was something else interesting with I want to say maybe, I think as well, if you go from the 1st of September and you go 131 days, I think it'll bring you out at the 1st of January, maybe. I feel like that's what it is. No, maybe it's the 10th of January, sorry. Anyway, I can't remember off the top of my head, or it might have even been the 11th of... no, I think it was... I don't know. Anyway, it brought you out to the same numerology in January. Alright, sorry for this pretty poor video, but you get the connections there, The Donald Trump, double gold, all these references back to the red and gold. Again, the 49ers is the big connection there, I think, for the date. Okay, so oh dear. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll catch you on another one soon. Alright, cheers. Alright, bye.